It was over a year ago when we introduced you to the Gorskys. Married for almost a year, when we first met them, they were ready to start their marriage off with a new challenge. Lisa, a children's pastor, and Chris, a youth pastor at the same church, they had an interesting story of how they met.
Chris used to date someone named Lisa, and he added who he thought was Lisa to Facebook. And I accepted his request to be a friend, even though I knew I didn't know him. And I was like, who are you? I don't know you. I wrote him a message, and that's how we met.
It's because I was so cute, though. No? Okay.
No.
It was actually, not only was it just Lisa, but it was her maiden name was the same last name of the person that I used to date. Oh. And so, like, as far as I was concerned, and I thought, you know, it had been 20 years, so, you know, who knows where that person lives, and there was 5 people in the picture she had on her Facebook picture, and
Could have been one of the 5.
Could have been one of the 5. I had no clue, so I just was like, I'll take a shot at the dark.
That shot in the dark led to holy matrimony, and now entering their 3rd year of marriage, we wanted to know if their 40-day Love Dare challenge had been a success. As you might remember, we had all 3 couples involved in the dare document their journey daily as they worked their way through the book together.
It's your story to tell.
I said mine, so you say yours.
No, I said yours.
For Chris and Lisa, our youngest couple, who had tried the Love Dare challenge before, but only made it to day 4, they simply wanted to get past that first hump and, according to them, start their marriage off on the right foot.
And so we just thought, you know what, let's do this so that we can set a foundation for what our marriage is going to be like for the rest of our lives. You know, what is it that we want our children to see in a marriage?
I think that we do want to start off on a good note and learn some new things about each other, learn some things that we can tweak in our relationship, tweak about ourselves. And it's always good to learn. And so this is just a way to help us do that. And I don't know anything about marriage. I've never been married before.
Me either.
And so this is a way to learn something about something that neither of us really know anything about.
So it's been a year since we saw the Gorskys at the live Love Dare finale. And as I quickly found out, a lot has changed for this young couple. So we have a little update, some news.
We do have some news.
We're having a baby.
Well, Lisa's having a baby.
And I let him know that often.
Yes. It is Lisa's baby, and I am no longer for the ride. Big boxes first.
With a new addition on the way and plans to move to a new city in the next couple of weeks, life in the Gorsky household is a little hectic. But they say a year later, they still often think about the lessons learned from their Love Dare challenge.
We've talked on and off about the Love Dare, and it's funny because we were so early in our marriage that we didn't have bad habits that we had to necessarily break, and we didn't even have good habits that we necessarily had set up yet. So a lot of the things that we did in the Love Dare just sort of stayed with us as if they were just natural ways that we are in a marriage.
Even today, I was like, Chris, I bet you they're going to ask us that question. And so I was like, go find the book, and we'll go through the book and we'll come up with something. Well, he said, go find the book. And I was like, where is it? And so we both were like, where's the Love Dare book? And finally I was like, I know where it is. I gave it away to a couple that was struggling in their marriage. So it was an opportunity where I was like, okay, you know what? Here's something that I know is a great resource that I know can help couples in their relationship. And so I gave it to them, and I don't know if they did the whole thing or not, but it was definitely, because we did it, it was a way for us to raise awareness about it.
We were able to pay it forward, I guess.
Yeah. So. But that doesn't mean there weren't some things they needed to work on. Chris and Lisa were known as probably the most sarcastic couple out of the Love Dare bunch.
So I come downstairs, and what do you know? Chris is in front of the fireplace burning boxes. And so obviously I didn't greet him nicely when I thought the house was burning down.
But they say that has changed. Well, a little.
If you watched our videos that we did, there was a lot of sarcasm in our relationship, and there was a lot of we kind of poked fun at each other a lot, and we still do that. But we've noticed that there's a lot more there's a lot more communication even about it. Like, so we're, not that we're not going to do that, not that that's not who we are, because that is who we are, and we do have fun together that way. But we're able to talk a lot more just about issues and things that we're going through.
Well, and knowing that it's important to talk about those issues.
Yeah. So I think the communication thing was the biggest thing for us, because before we'd laugh and joke and, it would be great. But I think now we probably actually get down and actually do talk to it. We don't stop at the sarcasm or stop at the joking, but we actually are able to sit down and probably hammer out some things that we probably wouldn't have gotten to before.
One thing they both have been able to hammer out is putting each other first, doing spontaneous things for each other, something they both say they knew was important, but after the dare, have learned to make more of a priority.
I still, to this day, I surprise Lisa with, little things here and there. I just, a single flower the other day, I brought her lunch at work, and, and I dropped a flower off, and so that probably was the biggest thing for me, because I didn't think that way before. I was, I would have waited for her to tell me she needed something, and I would have said, well, I'm loving because I got you what you needed. But I think it's made me think a little bit differently and try and surprise her a little bit.
I don't know if there's one dare that I would say necessarily stood out, but I think that the whole point of the love dare is to think of your spouse first. Or at least just to think of them in any decision that you make. And so I think that the whole love dare as a whole, I would say it did help me to always think that in situations, was to think of Chris at least at some point in my decision, whether or not it's first always, at some point in my decision to think of him. Because
that's a win, I'll take that.
Count.
And because this was 100 Huntley Street's first interactive audience initiative, as well as the couple's first foray into the world of video blogging, we wanted to know how they felt about dishing everything to an audience they didn't know.
Hey everyone, today is day 37 of the Love Dare.
Because the videos are actually on YouTube still.
Yeah, just a couple
weeks ago, somebody sent us an email saying that they saw our videos. They're going to do the Love Dare for their spouse. Their spouse doesn't know about it. And so they're still following through on the videos. So they sent us a message just saying how much they appreciate it.
The thing with this is that it's long term. It's not, you don't do the Love Dare for 40 days and then never do it again. It's a lasting, it's forever, because you're continuously reminded of that in the experience. And I think that having people interact with you and them doing it as well shows you, how it worked for them. And so maybe we didn't run into that scenario the first time we did it, but maybe we will again. And I think it was great too to know, like, every relationship has a challenge. Mm-hmm. They're all different, but they're all valid. And let's work through this together.
And that's what they say has made this whole experience so exciting for them and so worthwhile, as they have journeyed together with many others to learn ultimately what love really is all about.
Within that, love is a verb.
Love is work. I shouldn't say love is work. That makes it sound very negative. But our culture, you fall in and out of love so easily in our culture. Love is how you feel. Mm-hmm. When you see, when you see celebrities and you see, it seems like every time you turn the television on, they're in love with somebody else because it's the way that he makes me feel or she makes me feel. And
love isn't about feeling.
And although those times are there for us, and we do feel that, more importantly, we're not going to base our lives on feelings, because there's going to be times when she feels like she wants to hurt me or wants to be angry with me, and that's not going to change the fact that she loves me.
An ongoing process they are prepared to invest in, no matter where they go.
We'll have to get our book back or buy a new one.
Yeah. As we move boxes in and out of different places, we'll have to remember that we love each other. Or you'll have to remember that.
In Hamilton, Ontario, Magdalene John, 100 Huntley Street.